Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. Oh, boy, Monday. So much has happened this weekend, for crying out loud. We got lots and lots and lots to talk about. And please, if you want to join us, call 936-647-3776. And guess who's back? Lieutenant Bob. I always call you Bob Bailey. You got to be here more often. Bob Berry. Bob Berry with the Conroe.
Yes, we're back.
Police Department, yes. And he is, Lieutenant, you salute this guy. And he just happened to come back from vacation from Hawaii. He and his wife were in Hawaii. And, I said, okay, if you'd rather be there than on the Cindy Cochran Show, no problem. But he came back, flew back to make sure he made the show, and I really appreciate you.
We thought about putting you with us and actually fly with us, so that way on Mondays we could do it over the phone.
See, there you go. That would have been perfect. Yeah. And I know you guys listened, every Monday that you were gone.
Absolutely.
Because we're on the internet, and that means people can listen to the Cindy Cochran Show all over the world.
Every day.
Every single day. Every day, Monday through Friday. It's an amazing thing, and what technology has brought my voice to your ear, in just seconds. It's there. And I'm sure that's what you would have been doing at 10 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii. Where in Hawaii did you go?
We went to Oahu.
Oahu?
Uh-huh.
I've never been to Oahu.
Yes.
I've never been there.
We went to Oahu, and we've been there before, but there were some things that we missed. And we had a couple of things that we wanted to do specifically. The rest of it was just leisure time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. Sam and I went to Kauai, and then we went to, not Honolulu. Where's the other? There's the other popular one. Honolulu.
There's Maui.
Maui.
Yeah.
Because we were remarried in, not called remarried, it's called,
didn't catch the first time?
Let's make this official, right? No, it was, but in Maui, they have this chapel there on the ocean, and people go in and renew their vows. That was it, renew the vows. Now, I don't know how official this was, because he bought me this ring, beautiful ring, to replace the one I had lost. But we went there, and it was going to be $400 for like a 30-minute little ceremony and stuff. And when Sam heard that, we went to the chapel, and we were looking at the chapel. He says, actually, it'd be more romantic if we could just do the vows ourselves and just be here, and we could see the ocean, and it's so beautiful in here. We don't need to have somebody do this.
Sounds
right?
like a man, doesn't
It
it?
sounds like a man. And I went, it's so romantic and so less costly. Yeah, that was it. So, but anyway, it was very cool. So we got dressed up and went in there, and you'd have thought that would have raised a flag like nobody else was there, but nobody came in and said you can't do your vows without paying the $400. And so Sam said we just do it in our mind. No, we went in there and we did it, and it was beautiful. It was so pretty, and so I love Maui, and and it was always a trip he won. This isn't like we're real rich and we just go on these trips, but he, as a salesman, would win trips all the time because he was such a good salesman, and we got to travel that way. Now that he's retired and it's a fixed income, it's like, do you really have to go to Kroger again? You know how much gas that's going to cost? So I'm going, wait a minute. I thought this, when we retire, we're going to be able to, go and do all these things in these places. And now he's afraid to spend the money. I keep talking to his, Craig Ware is his financial advisor, our financial advisor. And it's just hilarious to go sitting there and Craig tries to tell him, you've got enough money to let go of some of the money, Sam. It's not going to all go away within, you just go do this. So I'm going to tell him about y'all going to Hawaii and doing all that stuff, and you're not retired yet. You're going and having a good time.
We're spending our money early.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm afraid. It's like, what if something happens to one of us, and then, God forbid, but, and then there you are, going to Club Med,
Now, I tell you what, you need to get hold with my wife.
Yeah.
And she is a point person. And she used points for the hotel, points for the flight. And all in all, we were there for 4 days, not counting the day before and the day after.
Right.
Flying.
8 hours of flying.
Yeah. And it only cost us about $600, period.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
That is no way.
Yes. We had points for the hotel.
Did you stay at Motel 6?
No. We
you
stayed at
a
one
nice
of those nice hotels that starts with the H, and one of those on Waikiki.
Oh, Bob.
We rented a Mustang convertible.
You wildly crazy kids.
And the
awesome.
airfare and the hotel was absolutely free.
Wait, was it $600 a piece?
No, $600 total for the
That
whole.
cannot be.
Yes, it was.
I want Lori to call in and tell me. And that's because she has counted up all these points
Yes.
of, is it like coupon cutting or something? I won't do it.
No.
It's not that?
You,
Okay.
you have to. Now, I don't know if it'd work with you because I know you well enough to know how you operate. And you have to be very strict with these points and what you do and how you do it. But
See,
yes,
Sam
it
could
can
do
be
that.
done.
Sam could do that, but
Okay.
not me. You're right. You're right. Oh, that is so amazing. All right, if we have J.J. Kirkendall.
Uh-huh.
Kirkendall.
Yeah.
It's
Kuykendall.
It's Kuykendall.
Uh-huh.
Because we have two people in our church. One was Kirkendall,
Right.
one was Kuykendall.
And she's
Never
a
got
great
it right.
a great cruise planner.
Right. That's what I mean.
Love her.
She would she be just amazed and astounded that Lori did that? Got
I
y'all
don't
to
think
Hawaii
she would
and
be
back?
surprised at it. I think she would be surprised at how we did it and
Yeah.
what we did. But as far as she knows how Lori
Man,
works.
Bob,
So
I'm so proud of your, being able to wait and delay the gratification. That's, I am from that generation of instant gratification. Everybody thinks it's now, but it wasn't. I think it was from the 60s.
we
started
typically
that.
start working on something like that about 3 to 4 months in advance.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like a year-long thing. Like,
Oh no.
people that do these year things before they get married, they start these books and these, start cutting out all the articles that would pertain to having, what they're going to do in their marriage and who's going to be there and all that a year ahead of time. I can't even imagine planning something that far in advance. Like 3 or 4 months, maybe I could see that 3 months or something. Because as you get older, time goes by faster. But doing something like that and being able to save $600. I mean, my husband wants to go to Lori's seminar on that. Okay, he's going to want to go.
They do have those.
They do. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not very often, but they do.
Well, he has great sense of he can save. He saves. He studies everything. The only thing with people that study, like when they're going to buy something, they study so much they lose the sale. They lose the what they could have saved because they're studying the sale. And what kills me about Sam is that every time he wants to buy something, let's buy this. So he starts his studying and he's going through and he's researching. And so he finally buys it. And then he continues to research afterwards to make sure he got the good deal. Is that a man? That's got to be a man thing, right? It's just to make sure that no one beat you out of anything. You didn't leave any money on the table. That's just, man, it's like once you bought it, let it go. And then go and enjoy it. But he can't enjoy it until he knows he made a really good deal. It's like he drove me all the way out to the southwest part of town for a car that looked so good. And he talked to the guy and did all the research and all that. We got out there and we drive it. He loves it. He thinks this is great. This is just exactly what he was looking for and all that. And so he goes in and lowballs the price, the guy. And the guy goes, "Oh, no, sir. That's what we have. This is the price. You don't like the price? I can't help you." And he goes, he's never had somebody do that to him before. He was just like, "Well, okay, that's it." And he walks out. I said, "You mean you couldn't have decided at that point? Because whose face are you going to lose?" He's like, "You're going to lose face because with me, I rode all the way out here so you could get this car and be happy." So anyway, he wouldn't go back. I said, just turn around, go back. And who's this guy? He doesn't know any of your friends or anything. Just go back and get the car. And he goes, no, I have to walk out of there knowing I made a good deal before it. I was like, didn't you think it was a good deal when we left? And you went, well, I didn't know for sure until I saw what he was going to let me have. I said, man, I thought you talked to the guy and you said, this is what I'm going to offer and this is what we're going to. He said, you don't do that. That's not how you buy a car. And I said, after you drive, 2 hours to get to that side of town to get, and when we leave, we stayed there long enough when we left, then we're in traffic all the way back. On Saturdays, there's no such thing as 5 o'clock traffic. It's like from 8 a.m. to 4 traffic going out to the southwest part of town. It wasn't pleasant. And then that drive back to Willis that he didn't get it was, I was trying not to be mean or critical, but it was hard because it was hard.
We bought a car recently.
You did?
And
you bought a car, you've gone to Hawaii. What else have you done, Bob? Good grief.
Well, actually, we had the previous car that we had, close to 200,000 miles, and we've had it since 2005.
Yeah, it's time.
So it's time to do a deal. And so she started on it about 3 months ahead of time and has worked her way through it. And so we were able to do this, and it was just a freak thing. We had another thing to go to one night with Rotary Club, which, by the way, I need to give you as Rush would say, an obscene.
Hurry, finish that sentence.
Commercial, and that would be for the Rotary Club that's coming up tomorrow at 6 o'clock for the Mardi Gras catfish fry.
Are you speaking at it?
I'm there. I'll be working on it. I'll be serving your food for you.
Oh,
and so we have tickets for that, but it's going to happen tomorrow at 6. And
no, wait, tomorrow at 6 is not the catfish fry.
Yes,
it is. Okay,
tomorrow at 6, and from 6 to 8:30 at Sacred Heart Church.
At Sacred Heart Church, and that is located
right off of Fraser, just south of 2854.
Oh, okay, because I've seen it. I was wondering what street.
Yeah.
Okay, and you get how much does it cost?
$20.
$20 each.
Yeah.
Can I save up? Is there any points? No, okay, all right, fine. $20 each.
Right.
But it's going to a good cause.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's for the Rotary Club and all the things that we do with
you guys
here in the area.
Yeah, y'all do a lot of stuff for sure. Well, that's exciting. Hey, listen, we want to come back, and now that we've gotten our chit-chat out of the way, we're going to talk, of course, Super Bowl, and we're going to talk the halftime, and we're going to call Jimmy the C, and he's going to join the conversation. So don't go away. We'll be right back on the Cindy Cochran Show.
The Cindy Cochran Show. Real reality radio.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. Through our Operation School Bell program, we have provided new clothes to over 50,000 students in our county. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe, or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit BKMEYER.com, or call 281-221-4812.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. We are proud to sponsor 10 philanthropic programs that enhance the lives of those in our community. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe, or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
And we're back. It is Monday. Oh boy, Monday. Yay! I love Mondays. It's just that fresh start to the week. And you can start over again. You can reinvent yourself. Like a lot of people we know around here that every day they reinvent themselves. You never know what they're going to be when they walk past the window. But anyway, we are with Bob Berry, very special guest because he's been absent a few weeks. He went to Hawaii to get a tan. I don't know why you had to fly so far to get your tan, but you look really good. Does Lori, your wife, have the tan as well?
She does have a little tan. Yeah.
You guys, and all the pictures you posted. You know, are you afraid sometimes when you post pictures of you being in Hawaii happy and, you know, clinking the glasses and all that you make other people sick to their stomach because, you know, like you're having such a good time and they're so jealous? Do you ever fear of that or anything?
I only fear about it while I'm there. I don't post them until after I get back home.
That's it. Well, it's so funny how, you know, a long time ago people would go on vacation and they'd invite their friends over and they'd show them all the pictures. And now you can do it instantaneously and just, you know, bore people very slowly at a time. You know,
we did about 400 photos, and then of course we thinned them out.
Yeah,
a lot after that.
Yeah, no, you did a great job. He's still suffering from the jet lag.
Yes.
But you look great and it's wonderful. But what happened? You were here yesterday. Were you back yesterday?
Yes, I was.
Did you go to church?
Yes, I did.
I didn't. I wasn't feeling well. But
I looked for you. I couldn't find you.
I know it. I thought, because I can't find my phone. My phone is gone somewhere. And I can't let Sam buy me another one because I'm afraid I'm going to find it anytime. I'm just afraid once I buy that phone, I've given up on finding it. So. Anyway, and that's where your information is, and I'm like, how am I going to get in touch with him? Of course, I have my computer, but my computer, it seems like I never get you on my computer. I have to call you. That's the best way to get you is to call you. But anyway, so anyway, you got to hear the sex in the sermon, right?
Yes.
I had Connor Halstead on Friday, and we talked about. You know, we were talking about the Super Bowl coming up and all that, and I said, okay, and next coming up, we're going to talk about sex in the sermon. And his eyes got real big, like, what? You're going to ask me? I wanted to know how the youth were responding to the series, The Birds and the Bees, that they're doing at Conroe Church of Christ. And so were you uncomfortable at all?
I did not see the first.
Okay.
We were gone last week. Saw it this week,
yeah.
the second session of it, and I thought it was well done.
Right.
And I think there were some people that were kind of squeamish about it, yes. But overall, I think it went very well.
What's so great is that nobody turns their head. We sit, on the very back row, and nobody turns their head to look at each other. It's just so everybody's looking straight ahead. I'm not going to turn around and look at anybody, and it's hilarious. So the first one was really good, but the preface that he did, that he went in before he started it, was so amusing because he said, now, some of you are going to be upset and some of you are going to think this is no big deal, but it's a lot of you, might not, get used are used to hearing this in the sermon, but we've got to talk about this. God talked about this. God invented this. Why are we so afraid? He went through all that. He said, okay, everybody, just take a deep breath. And here we go. And they let everybody go out of the auditorium from the 6th grade down. And, it was great. I think he handled it so well. I really did enjoy it.
I think that there was a difference in that you may or may not be doing something that, according to God, is bad, okay, or shouldn't be doing.
Right.
But on the other side, it doesn't matter. We're not going to kick you out of the church
Of course
for
not.
something that you're doing or not doing or whatever. It is something that we look at the person, not at what they're doing.
Right. That's
Because there's
exactly
always a place for them to change.
right. And I'm watching in 9 months how many births are going to be. That's how I'm seeing this, if it's going to be successful or not. It's because he gets into it's okay, you can do whatever you want to do. If you're married, you can have a good time. Cuddle up to your wife or your husband sitting next to you, and you guys, enjoy this sermon. It's funny. So that's what I'm looking to see if there's going to be a jump in the birth rate after this. And then they may need to do this once a year. But it was really good, and it's not something you're expecting to hear. So I can imagine somebody you always bring somebody, hey, y'all come to church. Okay, we'll go this Sunday. And you go, oh boy, this is going to be good. And you bring visitors for the first time, and he's going like, okay, everybody say this word together. It's not a bad word. No. So it was very interesting. So anyway, that happened. I'm glad you got to hear that. But then the debates, there was the Republican debates, I don't know if that's the last one. I may have some more, but anyway, they had that on Saturday night. And everybody says, the Republicans were on Saturday night. And I went, when people say that, you think Saturday Night Live. And so you think, what? They all 9, 10, or 11 of them went on Saturday Night Live? No, they couldn't have done that, but Bernie Sanders did. He was there.
I was just fixing to say about that. I saw that.
That was really cute. I like that. So anyway, but the Super Bowl happens Sunday. So did you get to see it?
I did.
Did you watch the whole thing?
The entire thing.
I did too. I was sick as a dog, but everybody got in bed with me to watch the Super Bowl. It was so funny. All the grandkids and my daughter, everybody got in bed and I watched it, and it was amazing. We really had a good time. And after it was over, Cindy said, I'm just not into sports that much, but that baseball game was pretty good. I enjoyed watching that. That was fun. And everybody laughed. She said, what are y'all laughing at? And somebody says, it was football, Cindy. It wasn't baseball. But it made them all want to go see a live football game. And they said, next time they do the Super Bowl, can we go see that game live? And I went, for $27,000 a seat, yeah, maybe we could do that. And they were just like, what? But let's talk about the ads first. Now, I've got Jimmy, the C, coming to talk to us. Jimmy, are you there?
I'm still stunned that a bunch of married people had to go to church to figure out the birds and the bees. If they were bouncy wow wow talk at church.
Yeah,
well,
listen,
we're moving on.
Yeah, see, but we're just very progressive that way, Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy, now listen. I like to talk about the ads first. Okay, can we just talk about that first, and then we'll get into the meat of the game. But
we can talk about that first.
Okay, the ads, I didn't think overall were that good. I was just shocked that they were paying $5 million.
You know what? I've noticed a pattern probably the last 4 or 5 years that they think every commercial now has to have some animal, and if it's not just an animal, they would create some kind of freak of nature animal like that. I don't know what that was, a pug, dog, monkey thing, and one of the commercials wearing a diaper. What the?
Wait, I missed that. I missed that one. I thought I saw all of them.
It was.
Wow. I didn't know what that was. And then, of course, Budweiser. Hey, look, there's the Budweiser horse again.
Well,
and
see, they said
talking animals. I was like, Mr. Ed's been dead and buried at the glue factory a long time ago. I don't need to see more talking animals in commercials.
Did you like the sheep singing that song?
Oh, no, that was funny, singing the Queen song.
Yeah.
I'll give the sheep some credit. That was kind of funny.
That was done well. But here's the deal to me: you pay $5 million for 30 seconds. And then you have these commercials like the one that Liam Neeson, I don't know if I ever say his name right.
Liam Neeson. Yeah. I don't know what he was advertising. I thought it took his family to guess. Like, it was another Taken movie. I didn't pay attention to him.
Well, no one knew what it was until the last 5 seconds of the spot did they draw out that it was a TV. It was LG TV. And if I was going to pay that much money, my name and that everything was about would be on the very first second of the commercial to the very last, to have my name and brand it for that much money. And the one that the apartment.com, and he's singing as he's rising up. We're moving on up to the east side, and that didn't say apartment.com until the very last. So if you weren't, I think they probably think that this guy's so well branded with them that they would know what it was about. But it was ridiculous.
Didn't have a clue.
No, the smartest
the
one.
only commercial that actually did what you're actually saying was the one, I think, was Anthony Hopkins.
That was
Quicken Loans or so.
Yes.
One of those things that
that was the best.
He was on everything because he was supposed to be the anti. I don't sponsor or do commercials, so they did.
That was beneath him. It was wonderful because Sam said, "Okay, so I know what that one's about, but the other ones I don't have a clue." So I think the ads overall were not that good. So I mean, there was some comedy in some of them that were that was cute, that was funny.
I'll tell you what the commercials me and your son look forward to. Like, hey, look, are they going to have any more superhero movie advertisements? Because that was the only thing me and him were looking for.
Right, and they did the ant, and they did what's the one that has the white eyes with the red suit?
Oh, Deadpool.
Deadpool was that's what everybody's looking to, is to see Deadpool.
Yeah, please don't take your children to see Deadpool. It's a superhero, but he's not the superhero.
He's R-rated.
Kids need to go see. Oh, they might as well put an X on that movie.
Really?
Pretty vulgar and violent. Oh, yeah.
See, and that's what Samuel was saying. Oh boy, we go see that.
And the other thing is, poor kids probably get confused because he looks kind of like a Spider-Man costume, sort of, because his eyes are red.
Right, and they thought he was Ant-Man at first. Yeah.
Spider-Man. No, that's not Spider-Man. You can go see.
That was terrible. And
the spotty mouth. Yeah.
Did you see the ad that they awarded to this one company? They were like a startup company or a company with small business. They wanted to award an ad, and so there was a contest, and everybody wrote in what they thought why their business should be on the Super Bowl, and it was coffee. It was Death by Coffee or something. Death by Coffee. Coffee.
Yeah, it's Death Wish coffee. And it costs $20 for a 16-ounce bag. So
yes,
yeah, right.
And they did but their commercial was good. Yeah. It was good. It was like better than some of the other ones. Yeah.
It's a shame Charles Bronson's dead. He could have done that commercial.
Yes. I'm surprised they didn't drag him up out of those.
Right.
But
Charles, we can just animate him. No one knows the difference. Right. It's a hologram.
Right. Well, so we got to go to a break and stay with us, Jimmy. We're going to pull you over because we got to talk. Of course, the halftime show, and then the actual game itself.
Not really.
Oh yes, we have to talk about the halftime show.
No, the halftime. The halftime.
Yes, what happened at halftime?
Are we going to grab some buds?
No.
Some Budweisers?
No, we don't do that kind of stuff on here. On the Cindy Cochran Show, no. But we're going to talk Super Bowl, and you just call if you want to and join in to the party. It'll be fine. We'll be right back. Cindy Cochran Show.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and I want to invite you to join me every Saturday morning right here on Lone Star Internet Radio from 8 to 9 for Outdoors with Luke Clayton and Friends. Bill Dance is a frequent guest. Larry Weisser, Mr. Whitetail, is on the show every week. We talk a lot of hunting and fishing and generally have a good time. So remember, every Saturday morning, 8 to 9, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit BKMEYER.com, or call 281-221-4812.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas, Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and/or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympics Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
Conroe now has another first, The Cindy Cochran Show, mornings at 10 a.m. on irlonestar.com.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Oh boy, it's Monday, so I know you guys you've decided this is going to be the greatest week of my life. Not of my life, of your life. And that you're going to go out and have a good time and make people happy and call people you haven't called in a long time, write a letter to your mommy or something. Do something fun and make somebody happy. Richard, so you didn't cook this weekend for your party?
No.
And we've got Jimmy the C on the phone with us, and Jimmy the C went to probably the best party of all Super Bowl parties. His brother, Joey, gives a party that everybody wants an invitation to. So what did he have to eat there, Jimmy?
Everything.
I knew he would. Was he cooking outside too?
He was cooking outside. He was cooking inside. He was cooking everywhere he was at. He was nonstop cooking.
Oh, you're so lucky. And my son, Chad, and his wife, Sabrina, and my grandson, Cash, got to go to the party as well. And is everybody quiet while it's going on? Are everybody talking and yelling at the screen, or what do y'all do?
Everybody was talking. A couple were sort of yelling at the screen. I don't know if because they were losing money, but that's about the only thing. Because no one there had a real dog in the fight. Everybody's I guess team was not in the game, so to make it fun, I guess they bet on it. I guess it's what some people do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't do any of those sinful things.
You just read about that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, that's what it is. But now, so after y'all are eating, you're watching the show, and now here comes halftime. Does everybody get up and leave, or they stay there and watch?
Well, here's how that happened, and I've made an observation. As the game was going on, all the women were congregating in the kitchen. When halftime came on, all the women went in the living room, all the men went in the kitchen. It was weird, but that's how it is.
So ninth grade, I see. Okay, so
food is always better than halftime.
Yes, that's true. I guess that's true. But
and the beer was in there.
No, listen, halftime was great. Even Coldplay did a good job. Who did the worst job was ABC, and I got to take a survey. Is it my TV, or did anyone else that saw the halftime feel like the singers' voices were not in the mix well? Like they were not, they didn't mix them well with the music because you could barely hear them. Richard,
didn't watch the
did you watch halftime?
So I can't speak on it.
Did you watch halftime?
Yeah, I guess I saw it, but I
couldn't
really hear anything. Were y'all having trouble hearing what they were singing?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Did you have trouble?
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't just me, because I can understand, it's because I'm old and everything. So it just didn't come across well, and I was like, what's going on? But
did you say ABC messed it up? Is that what you said?
It's ABC's fault.
Well, I think they were lip syncing too, the entire thing. So
the problem was if you had it on ABC, you probably wouldn't hear anything because the game was on CBS.
I was wondering about that. I didn't know where that came from.
What did you catch? No, I knew it was one of those lower channels. Okay, so it's all right. Okay. Yeah, I was watching it on CBS. That's right.
I'm just saying, that might have been the problem. Hey, wrong station.
I'm so glad. I was trying to blame it on ABC. CBS, sorry, wrong. alphabet. CBS messed up. I just don't think they did that well. And as much money as goes into that, you know, you can understand where they had problems because how fast they got to put that together and tear that down. But still, the deal is that you think you'd have that lined out. You know, they have a rehearsal or something. But so Coldplay did all right, and they had a lot of, you know, the flowers dancing and all that stuff. But I did not know that Bruno Mars and Beyonce were going to be in it. I thought it was just Coldplay was doing the halftime, and I didn't care about watching it. So when they throw it to Bruno Mars comes in, he just sucked all of the oxygen out because it was so good. It was so amazing. He is an amazing performer. No one can touch that guy in performance. And then Beyonce, who is just about, I think, you know, I don't know how much longer she has to
She hasn't done anything in a while, and you figure since the Super Bowl's going to be in Houston next year, why don't you just wait till next year? She could have done it at home, even though she's done it, doesn't claim us anymore. She's to New York now. She doesn't love it.
You know, and when you're doing that kind of dancing and that kind of moves on a ramp that's going up, that you need to be careful. And she fell back on her heels. It was like, oh, that was terrible. But see, those are the kind of things that you got to be watching for closely. And if y'all were in the kitchen, then you didn't catch this kind of stuff. But her and Bruno Mars, you know, really, you know, they killed it. They killed it. And so then at the end, they all came back together and finished singing that song. But what a perfect song. That song, Uptown Funk, is such a great song to get everybody going crazy. And they did an amazing job. So I like the halftime. And usually I can't get through the whole halftime, except Michael Jackson did an amazing halftime thing. But anyway, it was positive. It was really nice. It was good. And let's all get together. We're all in this together and kind of thing. Kumbaya stuff that they did. So I like that part. Now, the game, the actual game itself. Now everybody wakes up. Okay, all right, now the game. I was so happy because we were for, you know, Sam and I wanted the old guy, you know, to win. And so we were for Peyton Manning, and, you know, Cam Newton, bless his heart. He just, you know, the one time it was near the end of the game, and, you know, they knocked the ball out of his head, and he, you know, it looked like he was starting to go, you know, to cover, to retrieve it, and then he stepped back. Did you see that? Did you see that play?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, even the commentators were commenting on it, that it looked like he held back on jumping on it and retrieving the ball, and it was taken by the Broncos got it. So it was a real strange deal. They said that was almost surreal to see him not jump in and then get on the ball.
Well, that was towards the end of the game.
Yeah, towards the end of the game.
Do I jump on it or do I not jump on it? It might hurt.
I might get myself hurt. So what did you think overall? It was the defense that made the whole thing happen?
It was the defense that made the whole thing happen because Peyton Manning, he didn't have a great game, but he didn't ruin the game. I mean, he managed it.
They won. What do you want?
A lot of mistakes, and they won.
Yeah. Now the 2-point conversion. Rich and I were talking about. I hate when they do that kind of stuff because I feel like you've got the 1 point. It's just gonna be don't mess it up. But that 2-point was the smoothest, the most beautiful, you know, execution. He threw it. The guy just kind of went right into his chest and he rolled with it. It was amazing, and that's all that Richard's given him credit for is that 2 points. Right, Richard?
I thought it was pretty good to bet on that too.
What?
Yeah.
That Peyton Manning how many points? A lot of people got screwed over in the gambling world due to how the points were being scored.
Because they were mostly field goal.
He throw for about 240 yards, and he only threw for like 140.
Yeah, same thing with Cam Newton too.
Yeah, Cam Newton. You know, we were talking about where they were saying this is going to be a old versus fresh legs and all that stuff that they were saying, and that Cam Newton, you know, was going to be able to overpower Peyton Manning. And every time they did a shot of Cam Newton, he looked like he had just plowed the back 40 and he was exhausted. Every time you see him, he was just like, okay.
They were wearing him out. And you know what was crazy? He didn't run that much. And it was like,
no,
that's what he's really good at.
Right.
And I mean, they were just hammering him, and I'm like, wow, this guy was the MVP. But, the NFC Championship game, and usually, and I forgot what the stat was, but we were talking about it, they blew Arizona out. And usually teams who blow out the opponent, like especially like in the conference championship games, usually come into the Super Bowl and lay an egg. It's like maybe they blew all their points against Arizona and had nothing in the tank. I don't know, but that was not the team that only lost one game this year. That guy really didn't look like the MVP. I was like, wow, man.
So
Wade Phillips, either as a genius or Cam Newton just wasn't ready for that game. I would say Wade looked like a genius.
Interesting. Well, I think that it was entertaining. I thought it was good because I kept feeling like, if he got his head back in the game and he was going to do something, it was going to be in that second half, and they weren't that far apart that he could actually do something, and it never happened. So no, and they kept the interceptions were interesting, and I love the effect that lets for sure that this guy made it over the goal line. That blue screen they put up, and you see his head sticking. That jump that whoever that did, the guy that jumped over everybody.
He called it CSI, the blue part on the goal line.
Yeah. It was so cool. It was like that was a great special effect. But to see that you could see the guy's head and the ball and his arms are over. Everything else is squashed, but that's all over there. And then at the end of the game, what I don't get, these female reporters, not saying they don't know the game and they don't understand the rules and regulations, but you send this little short girl out on the field, and it is tumultuous. The sound is so, the confetti, and it's so loud and all this, and they bring this little girl out, and these football players that are like over 6 feet tall have to bend down trying to hear what she's asking them. And her in-depth question was, so how do you feel right now? And then they go through, I feel great. I'm going to go have some Bud, Weiser, and I'm going to kiss my wife and my kids and be with my family. And I love the shots of Peyton Manning's the family. It was just a great night for me. I thought it was great that he won. That was his way out. Cam Newton's got plenty of games and plenty of Super Bowls.
But did anybody notice before the game was over, but it was pretty obvious the Broncos were going to win, and they panned to one of the suites where the Manning family was, and his little brother Eli's face just looked like someone stole his cookies because now his brother has as many Super Bowl wins as him, and he just looked like he was upset. I mean, mom and dad, Peyton Panther smiling, and Eli just had this like someone stole his lunch money face going on. I was like, look at that hater face he's got going. What a hater.
Now, Jimmy, you're so judgmental. You don't know what he was thinking. He was probably trying to hold back the tears of joy that he was so happy for his brother.
That guy was mad that he got bragging rights over his brother no more.
That is so...
I was the only one that noticed. I put it out there on Facebook, and a lot of people were like, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I noticed that too. And hater.
I love it. I love the drama and all that stuff. There's so much drama in all that. But Peyton Manning's not going to release his decision of whether he is going to he's going to quit. He hasn't done that yet, right? Nobody's heard that yet. So okay.
No, apparently he's just going to drink beer and eat pizza. That is like everybody else.
That's I'm sure that they eat pizza.
Like all of that. Yeah. Normal person.
No, he likes
with a lot of money and giant forehead. But
and he gives his younger brother, a hard time about being a lesser man than him, just like any other family, right?
Oh, really? No, they do not. Don't you think they're above that? They're professionals. Yeah, right.
And then Peyton goes, "Look at my bank account."
Well, it would be interesting to see if he's going to let that go. If that's going to be his last game.
It would be great if Eli Manning started buying Domino's franchises.
To compete.
That would be hilarious.
It started pushing Coors Light.
Yeah. As a competitor, I drink the Coors. Colorado's beer, not Budweiser. That'd be hilarious.
Well, I think the look of the uniforms, the Panthers got it all over. The Broncos. Their uniforms look so cool, and the way that they reflected in the light, and you know how much that has to do with everything, but that's something I know. So the end of the party was, were a lot of people happy, or at your party, were they sad, or were they drunk, or what was the deal?
I mean, some people have to hand over money because lost their little wager.
That was going
nobody
on.
was just like totally upset, but
Bob is trying to close his ears.
They had fun. You just kind of wish you had a little more offense out of the game. And
yeah.
You kind of wish that, maybe the Panthers scored one more touchdown just to make it kind of interesting towards the end. I mean, the fourth quarter was just, hey, the coronation for the Broncos, because
right.
the Panthers were doing nothing in that game. I was like, come on.
The last half of the last quarter was pretty dull.
Yeah. But not for us, because we were so happy that the Panthers were losing. But listen, so as we dream about what it could have been, we're going to be going to a break, and we'll be back. And Jimmy, thank you so much for coming in and offering your viewpoint. I think Jimmy the C is the guy that knows what's going on. He eats, lives, and sleeps his stuff. Thank you, Jimmy, for checking in, and we'll see you next Monday. Okay?
Yeah, J.J. Watt won Defensive Player of the Year MVP for the third time in 4 years, which is amazing. Yay, J.J. Watt.
Yay, J.J. Watt. Thank you, Jimmy. You're listening to Cindy Cochran Show, and we will be right back.
Conroe now has another first. The Cindy Cochran Show. Mornings at 10 a.m. on irlonestar.com.
In a world where everyone with a smartphone is a photographer, unique images still stand out in local newspapers, magazines, and on the internet. Writer and photographer Brad Meyer has gained a reputation for innovation and quality, specializing in an editorial approach to portraits and event photography. For information, visit bkmeyer.com or call 281-221-4812.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that texting and talking on the phone while driving are not only dangerous, but also illegal in school zones and other posted areas. Drive safely and alert.
Tune in every Sunday night right here on Lone Star Internet Radio for adventure, romance, thrills, chills, and everything vintage radio drama can bring. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour comes to you every Sunday at 7 p.m. with brand new episodes monthly. Our productions always feature actors, music, and sound effects performed completely live. And now you can enjoy seeing each new episode performed on stage at the Owen Theater in Conroe. Check out www.irlonestar.com for information about upcoming episodes. Relive the glory days of vintage radio drama right here with the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
The Cindy Cochran Show. Even if these walls could talk, they couldn't get a word in edgewise.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. And now we have officially put the Super Bowl to bed. I think we're done with that, right, Bob? We don't have to talk about it anymore. Yeah. Okay, good. Bob Berry is my special guest. And listen, you guys, well,
hold on.
What?
I'm really surprised you didn't talk about those creepy baby Super Bowl baby commercials.
Oh, you mean the ones that have been born because of the
Super Bowl? Yeah, but like those kids were singing about their parents doing it.
Yeah, like they had sex the night of the Super Bowl, and then they were born 9 months later. So they got them all together all over the country, and they had them singing this song about
being a family and a Super Bowl baby. It was really creepy. It was really creepy because they were trying to say like, oh, when the Super Bowl wins, that team or that city the team wins, their birth rate goes up like 10% or something like that. But the way they were presenting, it was only kids saying it, and it was just really creepy.
Yeah, it shouldn't have come from the kids. That wasn't right at all, So, But as I was saying, Lieutenant Bob Berry of the Conroe Police Department is here, and I was going to talk to you about the body cams. You know, it's been a while since they instated that, so that all the policemen are wearing the body cams, and you say they wear them like right in the center of their chest. That's
most of the time, yes.
That's where will they clip on or what?
Yeah, there's a clip, and it goes into where you would normally put your buttonhole, where your buttons on your shirt. It fits on that edge there, and it's right. Most of the time, we wear them directly right here on our chest.
Now, have you worn one?
Yes, I do have one.
Whenever you go on,
when I'm on patrol, I
you wear one.
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't find it restrictive at all.
No,
it's no big deal. Well, there's an article in the Conroe Courier today that talks about the complaints of the restrictions. Now, I didn't read the whole article because that's how I am, in-depth reporter that I am. But there is an article about that, and if you guys maybe you want to read it and see what they're talking about, because I don't see anything like you said. It's right there. I thought maybe it's because they have to make sure it's on, and I got to turn it. Is it on all the time?
No. The hardest part that I have with the camera is turning it on when I get out of the car.
Well, see, that's maybe they think like, wait, I'm trying to chase this guy down, or I got to hurry up and get out. Somebody's dying in a car, and I've got to turn the camera on, for crying out loud. I got enough stuff to do. So that with. Maybe that was what they were talking about, but I should have never started the story because I thought maybe you'd heard about it.
Actually, in the early 90s, when I first started, we had an officer, and he took it on himself because he had some issues with things being said, and the people were saying, he did this and he did that. So he actually had a video camera, the old style video camera. He made a little pod to sit on his passenger seat, and had it bungee corded down on it, and so he would always turn it on. It was in a car, but it was still, he had a mic on it and would go for the camera.
Right.
And so that was one of our first cameras that we ever had.
Funny.
And we didn't have anything from there on except for the car cameras. Mm-hmm. And they had microphones that you would put on.
Yeah, the dash cams that they had.
Right.
Yeah.
And we still have those.
Right.
And so we have not only the car cams, we now have the body cameras. Right. And so we had two ways of making sure that it's going on.
Okay, so how do y'all go and eat lunch and not get stuff all over your lens?
Well, you clip it on and clip it off. We don't have them. We don't turn them on while we're doing that.
While you're eating, okay.
Yeah, that's the hardest part is when you get out of the car is turn that one on, because when you turn your lights on, the overhead lights on the car, it automatically turns on the dash cam.
Oh, okay. All right, so that comes on automatically. That would make sense.
Yes.
But so you got to remember to turn it off as well. Have people left them on and been embarrassed by what transacted?
Well, for example, if you stop somebody, let's say between November and December, and you stop somebody, and for whatever you're doing, of course the lights are on, the camera's on, and dash cam and all of that, and then you get back in the car and you forget about it, and you're singing, Holly Jolly Christmas, and it still records that too, if you don't turn it off. But
honey, what do you want me to bring home? Okay, all right, okay.
The main thing with that is it is for the contact with the person.
Right.
Is where it's going to be. Now, if let's say something happens, somebody runs into you on your car.
Right.
The camera actually takes care of that for you. You don't have to do anything. But when it comes to the body cams, it really is for you to open it up and start the camera, walk up to the car, and you have a one-to-one discussion there with the person, and then
so that's I'm really curious about that, how that happens. So thank you for explaining that and where it goes and all of that, and so you're not using it while you're eating. Okay, listen, tomorrow we've got the producers of The Producer. Stage right, Carol Wong will be here, and you're going to talk about the new play, The Producers, is going to be happening at the Crichton Theater. So you guys be sure and be here tomorrow on the Cindy Cochran Show. Have a great day. Make somebody happy. You'll be happier. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you for checking out a podcast on Lone Star Internet Radio. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. If you are interested in sponsoring a program for Lone Star Internet Radio, just visit us online at irlonestar.com or message us on Facebook. We are always taking song requests on Twitter, and if you are interested in getting involved with the station by either hosting your own show or if you want to be a DJ, just contact Dick at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station.